Have you ever looked at your cat and noticed that they're not jumping or playing as much as they used to? Maybe they seem a little more irritable, or they're spending more time curled up in their favorite spot, not quite as active as before. As cat owners, we want our pets to feel their best, but sometimes, the changes in their behavior are easy to overlook. Arthritis in cats is one of those conditions that can creep in gradually, and often, it's hidden beneath the surface until it's too late. Now, let me tell you, cats are experts at hiding pain. They're not going to walk up to you and say, "Hey, my joints are hurting." Instead, they tend to adapt to their discomfort by slowing down, avoiding certain movements, and in some cases, even changing their behavior. That's where you come in. As a pet parent, you're the first line of defense in recognizing when something's wrong. And that's what we're going to talk about today: how to spot the hidden signs of arthritis before it gets to the point where your cat is really suffering. Arthritis is a condition where the joints become inflamed and the cartilage starts to wear down. It can affect cats of all ages, but it's particularly common in older cats. The symptoms are often subtle and can be mistaken for normal aging or just a bad mood, but with a little awareness, you can catch these signs early and get your cat the care they need. Let's start with one of the most noticeable but often ignored signs: a decrease in activity. If your cat suddenly seems to be avoiding certain places, or you notice that they're not jumping as much as they used to, this could be a red flag. Cats with arthritis often become more reluctant to jump onto high surfaces like counters, windowsills, or even your bed. They might even stop going up the stairs if the pain is affecting their hips or knees. At first, you might just think they're getting older, but if you're seeing a pattern where they're hesitating to move or avoiding certain activities, it's worth looking closer. Cats are naturally agile and love to climb, so when they start refusing to jump, it's often because their joints hurt. They don't want to admit it, but they'll show it in their actions. Another symptom you might notice is their change in grooming habits. Cats are typically fastidious about keeping themselves clean, but when arthritis sets in, they may start to avoid grooming certain areas of their body. If your cat's fur is becoming matted or dirty in areas like their back or belly, it could be because they're having a hard time bending or stretching to groom those areas properly. If you notice that your cat is looking unkempt in areas they usually keep spotless, it might be time to check their joints for signs of stiffness. Now, you might think, okay, maybe they're just not in the mood for grooming. But if your cat suddenly stops grooming their usual spots, it could mean pain in the joints that make it hard to twist or stretch in those areas. And it's not just the fur that suffers. Skin infections can also develop if they're not able to keep themselves clean. Then there's the behavioral change. Arthritis doesn't just affect your cat's body, it affects their mood too. Cats with arthritis often become more irritable or grumpy when they're in pain. They may react with a sudden hiss or swat if you touch their joints or try to pick them up. It's not because they're being difficult, it's because they're uncomfortable and they're trying to protect themselves. This is especially common when you try to touch their back legs or hips, areas that are commonly affected by arthritis. On top of that, your cat might become more withdrawn. If they're usually social, enjoying cuddle time and playing with you, but suddenly seem to be isolating themselves more, it could be a sign that the discomfort from arthritis is getting to them. Instead of seeking affection, they might retreat to a quiet spot and stay there, away from noise or activity. If your usually affectionate cat is becoming more standoffish, that change in behavior could very well be linked to their joint pain. Another sneaky sign of arthritis is increased irritability when they're trying to move around. You might notice your cat being more slow and stiff when they wake up or after they've been resting for a while. They might take longer to stretch, or they may limp a bit when they first get up. This stiffness, especially in the morning or after a nap, is a key sign of arthritis. Also, if your cat's joints are causing them pain, you might start to see them being more selective about where they sit or lie down. Cats with arthritis may avoid hard surfaces or spots that require them to stretch too much. Instead, they'll seek out softer spots where they can lie more comfortably. If you notice your cat curling up in odd positions or avoiding certain spots on the floor, it could be because they're trying to find a place that's easier on their joints. Now, here's something that can be really tricky: difficulty with the litter box. Cats with arthritis may struggle to get into or out of the box, especially if it's placed in an inconvenient spot or requires them to jump in. You might even notice that your cat is avoiding the litter box entirely, or only using it when absolutely necessary. This could be due to pain when trying to squat or bend their body. If you see your cat changing their litter box habits, this is definitely something to pay attention to. You may also notice that your cat starts eating less or even losing weight. When it hurts to move around, or when certain activities become more difficult, your cat might not be as interested in food as usual. If arthritis affects their jaw, neck, or even their back, it can make eating painful or uncomfortable. You might even find that they eat in odd positions or avoid their usual feeding spots altogether. So, what can you do if you spot these signs? The first step is to make sure you're paying attention to the changes. Arthritis can be managed, but the sooner you catch it, the easier it is to keep your cat comfortable. Start by taking your cat to the vet for an evaluation. Your vet will likely want to take X-rays to determine the extent of the damage to the joints, and they can recommend treatments such as pain relief medications, joint supplements, or physical therapy. In addition to professional care, you can also make a few changes at home to help your cat feel more comfortable. Try providing softer bedding for your cat to rest on, and make sure their food and water bowls are easily accessible. If your cat's litter box is too high, consider getting a lower-sided box to make it easier for them to access. Weight management is also crucial when dealing with arthritis. Extra weight puts more pressure on already stressed joints, so if your cat is overweight, working with your vet on a weight loss plan is essential. Now, here's something to think about: joint supplements. Just like humans, cats can benefit from glucosamine and chondroitin, which help lubricate the joints and reduce inflammation. These supplements can work wonders over time, improving your cat's mobility and reducing pain. Make sure to consult with your vet about the right supplement for your cat. It's important to keep an eye on your cat's pain levels. If they seem to be getting worse or not responding to treatments, don't hesitate to get a second opinion. You know your cat best, and you deserve to have them feeling their best. Arthritis doesn't have to define your cat's quality of life. With early detection, the right care, and a little patience, your cat can continue to live comfortably. Don't wait for your cat to suffer in silence. Pay attention to those small changes, and get them the help they need. You're their advocate, and early intervention is key to keeping them happy and healthy for years to come. If you've noticed any of these symptoms in your cat or want to stay ahead of the game with your feline's health, subscribe for more tips and information on caring for your pet. Your cat's health matters, and you've got this.